The Incredibles 2 movie review. The Incredibles 2 is another example of a movie that had potential but sadly ended up disappointing me. And yes, I am aware that this film is technically referred to and marketed as just Incredibles 2, but I don't care. Because I think that removing the from the title was a really bad and stupid idea. A lot of the problems I have with the film mainly stem from the fact that they chose to pick up where the first film left off and run on Simpsons logic instead of just doing a time jump. Now, Simpsons logic is a term I use. I'm sure I'm not the only one that uses it. To describe how no matter how many years it's been in real time, in our world, the characters of a certain TV show or movie franchise show no visible or mental signs of aging. Another perfect example is the Despicable Me movies, where despite Gru and Lucy having a baby, the three adopted girls, Margot, Edith, and Agnes, all look and sound the same. I would love a Despicable Me 5 where the girls are all a little older. We've seen in as early as 2 that Margot, the one voiced by Miranda Cosgrove, is interested in boys. Maybe she has a secret boyfriend that she tries to keep under wraps because she knows for a fact Gru would not approve. Edith, the middle one, is starting to develop feelings for boys as well, and it's handled much like the Bob's Burgers Boys for Now episode where Louise develops her very first crush on Boo Boo. And because Agnes is the youngest, Gru and Lucy don't have to worry about boys or explain the birds and the bees to her just yet. But her tastes and her interests are starting to change. She's always been the unicorn girl, but what if she's not into unicorns anymore? Now she likes things like Pokemon or My Little Pony or whatever little girls nowadays are into. But once again, I feel like I'm expecting too much. The Incredibles 2 starts off the same way the previous film ended with the Underminer battle, who went from someone drilling through the city to declare war on humanity to being a lowly bank robber. Kinda lame if you ask me. Maybe making all those drills and robots is expensive. Another problem is they took Bob, someone who was quite intelligent and even wanted to commit to being a better father, and they put him through the sitcom dad trope machine. He's also been reverted back to how he was in the first movie. When Helen gets chosen for DevTech's superhero PR advocacy campaign, he's disappointed, and he doesn't see his wife on the same level as a superhero. And even after she stops her runaway train from crashing, she calls Bob about it who voices his excitement for gritted teeth. Kind of like this. I'm so happy for you. But Bob's not the only one who's been put through the ringer. Helen's character for the most part remains intact, except for the part where she tracks a screenslaver to an abandoned apartment, and upon removing his mask, the guy asks, "What happened?" Helen has also been a very intelligent character, but it takes way too long for something to not sit right about the first fight with Screenslaver. Which brings me to the villain, Evelyn Dever, aka Screenslaver. I could see her being the villain from a mile away, and not because of the pun name of Evelyn Dever. It's because she was the overworked assistant. And much like how in Zootopia, Bellwether was also the main villain because she was overworked and underused. I feel like it would have been much more interesting if Winston was in on the whole Screenslaver thing, or if he was the true brains of the operation and Evelyn was a patsy. The climax for this movie is also kind of lame. Last movie, stopping a giant robot from destroying the city. This movie, stopping an out-of-control speeding boat from crashing into the mainland. I don't know about you, but one of those seems more interesting than the other. Now, Disney has also announced The Incredibles 3 in the coming years. Maybe it'll fix all the things I've talked about here, maybe we'll get to see the kids be a little older, but I somehow doubt that. The biggest thing about it is that Brad Bird is not coming back as a writer and director. Instead, the film will be helmed by Peter Sohn, a longtime Pixar employee who's dabbled in voice acting and even directing with Elemental and The Good Dinosaur. If Brad Bird didn't want to come back and move on, I would understand, but at the same time, this franchise is his baby. He started all of this. Maybe The Incredibles 3 will be good, or at the very least better than this, though I highly doubt it.